Welcome to Difficulty Easy, where everything always shakes you. My name is Dan and I have cerebral palsy. My hope is to show you some tips and tricks that you can apply to your projects. If you like it shaken, not stirred, just remember I don't run on batteries, just feed me steak. Today is the third episode of the custom touchscreen for the 4Runner. Let's get into it. So here we can see the 3 out of the 4 voltages are showing up properly, and they're actually remarkably close to each other. I have all 4 channels connected in parallel to the same battery cell, so all voltages should be identical. I'm just trying to wiggle the board around to see if voltage number 2 comes back online. Well, at least now we're getting a different issue, right? So after hooking up the 3S, we should see 3 channels with different voltages and 1 duplicated voltages. After jiggling the board around some more, I got number 2 to come on briefly with number 1, and then number 1 dropped off. So now all 4 channels are working, but the voltages are looking weird. I do have the same cell on line 1 and 3, so those should be nearly identical. And then we lose line number 1. Well, at least something different failed. I'm gonna shake this mofo a little harder and see if we get 1 back. No luck.
Round 2, fight.
So after testing off camera for a while, I did zap another ADC. The previous ADC got zapped when I learned from the I don't know which number of times that, power cables should be properly isolated and actually insulated with tape, which is kind of a pain for me to do, but okay. So I quite frequently don't do it. I just kind of like splay them apart and pray, and yeah, that didn't work that time. Yeah. So to recount, the first ADC didn't break. I thought it was broken, ripped it out. Then the second ADC actually got zapped, took it out, put a third one back in. And then this one was special. I still remember this vividly. I was trying to solder something. I somehow went like this, and I didn't even notice, and I looked, and the ADC had like a nice hole right on the IC. I'm like, come on, man. So, yeah. Another one bites the dust.
Just need pussy to survive, bro. I'm going to college.
I thought that the first ADC learned its lesson by being like ripped out like a mongrel with a pair of ice grips. But no, I guess they forget when you replace them, because this guy wouldn't come out either. I really tried to desolder it properly, and it just wouldn't budge. I had to rip it out again.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
So this only took me about an hour and a half to fix. No big whoop. So I'm finally addressing the faulty line issue. It's from a very thin trace on the RT45 connector. I believe it's line number 5. That is so thin and so flimsy that just barely touching it with a soldering iron causes it to become flaky. So this is literally the 14th socket that I put on this board. And I looked at using different ones, but I would have to change the layout quite a bit, and then also the 3D prints that I've been doing, and that just seemed like a lot of work at first, but I'm starting to think that might be the right way to go here. Thank God, I love sitting like a frog. Rub it, rub but whatever. So this sound device is pretty kick-ass. I found it maybe a year or two ago. It just kind of screws down onto PCBs and holds them really well. I do wish it was a little heavier. However, I often use it on a magnetic vise. But if you lift it up, and it's got like 3 different height settings, so the base of the vise is actually not magnetic. So if you lift the vise up, it's no longer sticking to anything. So that makes it a pain in the butt if I need the height adjustment. But other than that, it works really, really well. So these RJ45 sockets come with pins pre-soldered on them, but they're on the wrong side. So this took me another 3 hours to do, to take off the old one and put in the new one. Why I didn't think of just putting a jumper, from the board directly to the connector, I don't know, but it seems the logical thing to do, the easiest thing to do, and yeah, I don't know why I hadn't done that. To take off the pins, I normally clip out the plastic between the pins so I can take them out individually. Taking them out as a whole is just a gigantic pain in the ass. It's a very similar issue that I'm having with the ADC. Using the desoldering gun on this thing is pretty fruitless because the minute you touch it with it, it scratches the leads away. That's how I went through 13 other ones of these boards. They are quite a piece of shit. I'm also testing the socket itself to make sure it works before I put them in. The alligator clips come in super handy for this kind of stuff. So pin number 5 has no connection again, and the GoPro died. Yay! I'm really trying to repair these traces, but the more I try, the more I damage them. So here I grabbed another RJ45 breakout board, but the distances between pins are just too different to work. The idea was to sandwich it on the bottom of the other one, but it didn't work. If there was only like another simple way to fix this, man, I don't know. I wish there was. Before I realized the simple solution of just using a jumper wire between the pin with the broken trace and the pin on the actual RJ45 connector, I checked out board 14, and here comes number 15. Oh yeah. Maybe I realized it in a bit. Eureka, dumbass! Make a jumper. Took only 14 times to be this brilliant. As I said earlier, being this lazy is a lot of work. At this time, just to preempt it, I do pre-solder one side of the wire to the board, just in case I need it later on. So you're asking yourself, why didn't you just fix the previous one? Well, don't you know, learning too much too quickly is dangerous. Book burning, baby. Now, where are my crayons at? I think Mom took them because I kept eating them. So this time around, I'm also replacing the pins that are on the board because after so much soldering and desoldering, they are quite nasty. And the plastic holding them together is also quite damaged. And because the universe is a giant dick, this time pin 5 worked flawlessly. I still left the jumper in there because I know the instant that I take it off, pin number 5 is gonna stop working. It's clipped, it's insulated, and it's gonna mock me for eternity. I still haven't gotten rid of those MOSFETs. Not sure I'll ever will. And there we go, check it out. The 4 voltages showing up exactly as they should from a 4-cell battery that I got just for testing this. So in summary, 4 ADCs, 15 RJ45 sockets, one 5-volt regulator, a ton of crappy wiring, and about 9 out of the 15 hours that I spent soldering totally wasted and victims of laziness. Now that's what I call a spree. And I still haven't gotten rid of the MOSFETs. I still have no idea why the 4 MOSFET and the 8 MOSFET setup didn't work. If you know, if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm really dying of curiosity, because looking at the IC, there is nothing different about the setup. The solid state relays don't have integrated diodes. They communicate the exact same way as the MOSFETs do. I don't understand why these work versus the MOSFET. It's gotta be part of the auto isolation, where I think the control side of things was paralleling the MOSFETs on both ends, and that was causing issues, where here the auto isolation removes that issue. However, I do have shared grounds, so I don't understand how this is making a difference. Talking about these voltages and batteries, I just keep thinking of John Goodenough. I really think that guy needs a B as a middle initial. Actually, let me look that up. It's actually a B, it's actually Johnny B. Goodenough. Johnny B. Good. That guy is such a badass. He invented lithium ion polymer batteries. And here he is, looking like a badass, like, yep, I invented that shit, motherfuckers. I did it. So I started a Reddit group to talk about this project, or your projects, if you have questions, that kind of stuff. My username on Reddit is difficulty easy peasy, because difficulty easy was already taken. So post on there and I will answer whatever I can. And that's it for this episode. See you next week. I have a special treat in that one for you.
After your disappearance, some have lost a friend, and some have lost a hero.